As American oil giant ExxonMobil moves full pace ahead with its operations in Guyana by increasing its production this year to some 340,000 barrels of crude oil per day, the country's audit office, more than 3 years later, is still building capacity to audit the oil and gas sector. At least, this is what government's Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, Gail Teixeira, told the National Assembly on Monday while she was being grilled by opposition Member of Parliament and Shadow Minister of Oil and Gas Sector, David Patterson, on the capability of the Audit Office to examine the expenditure of oil monies entering the Natural Resource Fund. Although the minister made it known that the Auditor General's office is able to scrutinize monies being deposited and taken out of the oil fund, she revealed that it is still building capacity to audit ExxonMobil's operations offshore Guyana in the areas of extraction, production, and exploration.
The Audit Office is building its capacity to audit exploration, extraction, and production of oil in the oil sector. This will be audited under the Natural Resource Fund, will be audited in accordance with the requirements of the Natural Resource Fund Act and the Audit Act.
The Audit Office, via its Auditor General Deodat Sharma, had announced back in September 2018 that it had commenced building the capacity to properly scrutinize the oil industry. This was some 2 years before the oil giant started producing oil. Sharma had made the disclosure while handing over his 2017 report to the then Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland. He had said that the Audit Office, through a partnership with the Canadian Executive Services Organization, CESO, would have been engaging in several capacity-building initiatives. Those capacity-building initiatives, Sharma had said, is to equip the Audit Office with the capability to examine revenues and expenditures of the oil sector, which includes financial, regulatory, technical, and even scientific areas. However, more than 3 years has passed since Sharma said this. ExxonMobil has already started producing oil, and yet again during Monday's sitting of the National Assembly, it was stated that the Audit Office is still building capacity to conduct oil audits. In fact, after 3 years, there is not even enough qualified staff working in the Audit Office to undertake such audits. According to Teixeira, only 2 of its middle management staff has master's degree in studies relating to oil and gas, while its engineering department only has 3 engineers.
Nevertheless, the office has already started improving the capacity, with 2 of its middle management staff having obtained master's degrees in studies relating to oil and gas. With regard to other technical staff, more specifically the engineers, the Audit Office has 3 civil engineers, one with a master's degree, and that it is anticipated that the engineering department will be increased the capacity, and the numbers will be requested in the 2023 budget.
Meanwhile, as the government continues to spend money and take its own time to build capacity in the Audit Office, ExxonMobil is ramping up production, exploration, and the development of new oil fields within the Stabroek Block at a rapid pace. With the arrival of the first floating production, storage, and offloading vessel in 2019, ExxonMobil began oil production in 2020 by producing some 120,000 barrels of oil per day from its Liza Phase 1 project. In October last year, Liza Unity arrived, and Exxon is well on track to start producing an additional 220,000 barrels of crude oil per day this year from its Liza Phase 2 project. That means that by the end of 2022, ExxonMobil will be producing some 340,000 barrels of crude oil per day as Guyana continues to build capacity to scrutinize its operations. It should be noted, too, that the American oil giant has already announced that in 2023, its 3rd oil project, Payara, will be fully operational. This is Shervin Belgrave reporting for the HGP Nightly News.